What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, please hit that subscribe button. It's right down there and it's free. Now, today we have the honor and privilege of being joined by a friend of the channel, friend of mine, DJ Tuff. Thank you for coming through, sir.
Hey, what's good, sir? And how are you, bro? Thank you for having me on.
Yes, yes, always a pleasure, man. And DJ Tuff has a lot of stuff going on, lots of material, great material. Definitely check our links that I include in the description. You can find them throughout Unique Access with a lot of interviews talking about his albums. He's got the Behold the Detonator cover project behind him. But for this interview, I wanted to talk about you just got back recently from doing a tour with Ultramagnetic throughout England and the rest of the UK. So what we had talked a little bit about your ultramagnetic connection from the 87 to Fan Jam era. So I wanted to kind of recalibrate people for that before we get into this tour, because back in 87, when you were meeting Said G and Cool Keith in particular, what what did you learn from them? Because they were already known, established, doing well. Like they're coming to Philly, you guys are trying to emerge as Tough Crew. Like what was happening to where you guys worked well and developed a relationship starting in 86, 87?
Well, Ultramagnetic had a song called Ego Tripping. It was playing all over the radio in Philly, all over probably the East Coast. Uh, our manager, Tony Mitchell, the Godfather Mitch, got things all hemmed up. He booked them to come from the South Bronx to perform in Philly. We opened for Ultra, but it was just a kind of some magical stuff happened because they brought an SP12 with them, and they were downstairs in the basement making beats. We practiced at this place up at 56 and Girard. We would catch the trolley up there from down Kensington. And, we seen Said G and Cool Keith in the basement. They ended up staying about a month with us. Stayed there a month, taught us a lot of the ins and outs on sampling and sampling technique and sampling theory. And Said G is a great dude, man, highly intelligent. Cool Keith's an all-time great. And meeting them for the first time, they had a heavy hand on Kick the Ball. Tuff Crew released an album called Fan Jam. It had 6 songs by Tuff Crew and 2 songs by the Crown Rulers. The Crown Rulers were 2 gentlemen that we met just by chance at a Steady B show. They were in the crowd, and he was throwing $100 bills on the stage because he wanted to battle Steady B, Grand Poobah from the Crown Rulers. And we ended up making a song, Sad G, Cool Keith, Tuff Crew, and Crown Rulers called Kick the Ball. Another song we made was called B-Boy Document, which was later, done like a part 2 by the High and the Mighty. Shout out to my man DJ Mighty Mike, because that was one of the bangers. B-Boy. That's when we knew we were official, because they were scratching our shit in their songs. We was like, oh shit. But before we met Sed and them, we had the Fan Jam style of Tuff Crew. After we met Sed, we were given a little bit more freedom, and then you had this, I don't know, the Tuff Crew, became those kind of beats with what I was talking about, the 808s, just slamming underneath of a break beat that you may or may not have heard before. More so our stuff is familiar to your ear. You know what the beat is. Maybe at that time, we were looking for something that nobody else sampled, but little did we know that everybody was going to sample every break beat and kind of make a song off of it. So it was great for Sed and them to introduce us to the art of how to chop a break beat and make a song out of it in like 29.3 seconds, because that's how much sampling time was on there. Up until then, we only had, minuscule portions of a second, maybe on 4 banks. So Sed and them opened up a whole new world for us, production-wise, and especially going out and seeing them perform at the South Bronx. I mean, at the Latin Quarters. It's not there anymore, and I didn't know that it was going to be such a historical venue for hip hop and stuff like that when I was there. But I saw Kango Kid there for the first time in person. I saw Red Alert. Red Alert played I Know You Got Soul by Rakim before it even came out. He was like up there playing a demo. We had a great time that night. Cool Keith and Said G came out with some diamonds from behind a glass wall. It like opened up and then it spread out. We were like, oh shit, Ultra had a profound effect on me, as you can see.
Absolutely. So then over the years, they're doing individual stuff. They're doing the group Ultramagnetic. You've got stuff with Tough Crew. You're leaving Tough Crew. You got all kinds of different things. You're coming back, doing a lot of stuff with Spit Slam, a lot of your own projects.
Mhm.
Before you went on this tour with them to Europe, what did you keep in touch with them at all? Did you not see them for 20 or 30 years? Like what was going on in that 30, 40 year gap there?
I hadn't seen said G or Cool Keith in about 30 years. Like you said, I noticed a couple, maybe 9 months ago, that there was a flyer, maybe something on Instagram that said that they were performing at a club close to me. It was called, where was they at? Red Wine. And I offered my services, see if they wanted to. Really, I was just trying to get into the show. I wanted to see him perform. I didn't have a plan that I was going to maneuver my way in, maybe a little bit of a plan. And I went up there, and I kind of knew that they might have needed a DJ. Said they would pay for my travel if I wanted to spin for them. And this is all by Instagram, direct message. I came up there, I spun the show for them. It was crowded. We went outside and did a couple videos, a couple videos or whatever. And while he was driving away, he said, "Be ready." And then he drove away. Like, he got in the car and he put his head out the window and he said, "Be ready." And then he drove away. And I was like, "Oh shit, be ready." Did he, really? And then it died down. And now it's 4 months later, and I get a text from him. And the text says, "You've been added to the flight arrangements." And I'm looking at the phone like, oh shit. I was happy and I was scared at the same time, because I've never, well, first, is it true? Is it real? I learned something this year. It's called ants. ANTS, right? Ants, automatic negative thoughts. Coming from the hood and coming from a background of whatever we know we've discussed on previous shows, some of us may tend to get something special and then start picking out the bad parts of it or what's going to go wrong instead of getting something special and seeing how you can multiply the energy. Well, these are things that I'm learning how to do, and I didn't know how to do in the middle of whatever type of insanity I was choosing to partake of. So no, said G doesn't show up for the first 9 shows. Once we get to Europe, he had passport issues. It was a big deal for me to get to Philly, to JFK Airport. I was all excited because there was a hiatus between the text message that said, "You've been added to the flight arrangements," and then, okay, how much am I going to get paid? Where do I got to go? If I, whatever needs to be straightened out. But a lot of thoughts come into your mind when an opportunity presents itself. And with them, when you pray for something and then it comes true, you even get more scared, or you find out that you think that you can manifest it. You know, I learned about doing good deeds in other areas. That good deeds come back from an unexpected area. And after I practiced it enough, it became second nature for me to say yes and figure the rest out later. Whereas saying yes and figure the rest out later previously used to cause me to get feared up. Saying yes and figure the rest out later now gives me an opportunity to mold the opportunity into maybe more of what I think, hey, let me just bring the best energy that I can into the situation. Don't worry about what I'm going to get out of it. What's the pay? What am I going to wear? Who's going to pick me up? Let's not do none of that. Let's just bring good energy. And when I made that decision, it was like a light bulb. I didn't know it at the time. But with said not being there for the first 9 shows, a huge hole in the defensive line opened up over there on the right side. And I had the ball and I looked at the hole. I said, it can't be real, and then I ran through it. Next play, another huge hole. So I learned how to run through the hole quicker. I didn't have to wait for. So it got easier as it went on. There's 13 shows. I get to live out my fantasy 13 times in a row, each time in a different city, in a different country. We're like in a gold tour bus driving all over the place. The next show is 7 hours away. We all pack into the tour bus. TR Love, Cool Keith, Mark Davis, who was our road manager, and when said wasn't there, he also played the stage as the second hype man. Myself, and then that was it. And I had my man Rapid Fire. my boy Brent that does beats, he did the songs that I did for Chuck D for Summer of Ham. It's called In Danger. So my buddy Brent, he ran the merch stuff for us while we were over there in Europe, and did a great job. He just like sat there and just stayed at a table. You know, he wanted to see the show, but sometimes the merch table wasn't in the area where he could see the show, so he had to sit out there. So I'm on stage like, damn, I wish I'm feeling sorry for him, but at the same time, I'm engulfed. Every show was sold out, packed.
Wow.
So when we walked in, it was like, it was mad. It was madness. Now, when I say sold out, 900 people per show. Some of them had 700, but it was, elbow to elbow. And it was great. I heard the hush when I came on stage because, they sent me out there first. Let me say this. I prayed for the opportunity to get 15 minutes somewhere during the tour per show. And I will try to maneuver my way into getting my own set so I can open up and do me. And then Ultra, come on and I bring the energy to them. And that happened. And I was like, oh shit, Like I said, sometimes you pray for stuff and then when it comes true, you're like, oh shit, it came true. Now what? So the best way I can sum up that whole tour in a nutshell is jumping over obstacles. And we were talking about it while we were on tour. Different things were happening. It was an incredible adventure for me. I was starstruck looking around in Belgium and looking around in Berlin. I went to go see where Hitler killed himself. It's called the Berlin Bunker. We took a big ass ship, like Kaiser Sose was supposed to be on this ship, and we went across this ship on the Baltic Sea. I'm out there with my phone over the side of the ship, hoping I don't drop the phone into the ocean and all of that. That was from Germany to Denmark. We did a show in Copenhagen. Salute to my man Melee Sparks. There was a posse of rappers, connects that I had from over there that maybe I didn't know that I had. But all of these people who have been supporting me for the past 15, 20 years that I knew from Facebook and now I know from Instagram, well, they all showed the fuck up. And they all inboxed me for free tickets. So again, what are we doing? We're saying yes and figure the rest out later, right? We already got that down. So I said, oh, now I said yes to all these people. How am I going to get them these fucking tickets? But they were easy with it. Whoever you wanted to come in, put them on the guest list. And hey, our green room was crowded. I made sure that the green room was crowded. Even if Sad and Keith and them may not have wanted the green room crowded, I still had a posse of hip hop lovers out there, and the Tuff Crew fans were lined up with the records for me to autograph. So it was a shot to my ego for real to come into a venue. It sold out, and the first 10 people I see, they're lined up with like Back to Rec Shop and She Rides the Pony and the Tuff Crew, My Part of Town, 7-inch. And it was like, coming in as the champion. So I got to say, on this interview, thank you to everybody in the United Kingdom. Here's where we went. Manchester, Leeds, Bristol, London, 3 shows in London. Then we went on a underground fucking tunnel that goes underneath the English Channel. I'm like, what? So, and then we did Belgium. We did Kortejink, which I can't even hardly pronounce that one. Then we drove through France. We went to Zurich, Switzerland. Then we went to Eindhoven. Amsterdam was incredible. I bought a pair of Air Force Ones in Amsterdam. Went to the coffee houses in Amsterdam. Tried to find the same place where I saw Cheech and Chong sitting in Nice Dreams, or so many years ago, or maybe it was up in one of them. Things were tough all over, might be. I don't know. I was just watching some Cheech and Chong stuff, and then being in Amsterdam, now I'm thinking I'm Cheech and Chong in Amsterdam. It was just great, man. From there, we went to Dusseldorf, and the German hip hop scene is extraordinary, and that was the very last show. So we had to go across that boat, go to Copenhagen, and then come back on that boat. Coming back on the boat, the German police pulled us over into customs and took us into this garage, ripped all of the suitcases apart, took the weed, confiscated the weed, fined us, 50 euros each, and then let us go. Now, just 2 weeks ago, weed became legal in Germany. So that was the last 2 weeks leading up to the legalization of marijuana. So they were looking for rappers in gold vans to take their weed, and that's exactly what they did.